As important as Gordie Howe and Ted Lindsay were to the Detroit Red Wings, this guy was just as important. One of the most deserving members of the Hockey Hall of Fame in the late 1970s class, a gentleman through and through, gave so much to hockey in Detroit that there should be monuments to this guy all over the place. And I know there's already, but there should be some, like somebody would call it Delvecchio Way or something similar, a Delvecchio Highway. Today we're going to be talking about the man, the nickname Fats. I never saw him overweight, 5'11", 180, a good Ontario boy from Fort William. So of course we're talking about Alex Delvecchio. Now Alexander Peter Delvecchio, born December 4th, 1931, spent numerous years with Detroit as a player, coach, and GM. And again, he spent his entire NHL career with the Red Wings to show durability, just like George Brett and other key superstars of the Major League era that he was a part of. Now, in a playing career that lasted 24 seasons, he skated in 1,549 games, recording 1,281 points. At the time of his retirement, he was second in NHL history in games played, assists, and points. He won the Lady Byng Memorial Trophy for sportsmanship and gentlemanly conduct 3 times, and helped the Red Wings win the Stanley Cup on a trio of occasions. Now, Delvecchio's 1,549 games with the Red Wings is only one of 3 to play at least 1,500 games with one team. The other 2, Stevie Yzerman and Nicholas Lindstrom, also played for the Wheels. Now, immediately after retiring in the 73 campaign, he was named head coach of the team and was also named the team's GM in 74, serving in both roles until 1977. Again, inducted in the Hockey Hall of Fame in 77, and in 40 years later was named one of the 100 greatest players in NHL history. Now, he only played one junior season for the Oshawa Generals of the OHA, during which he led the league in assists. But he got his formal start for the Fort William Rangers in 1948, played with them in 49, but then did some time with the Port Arthur Bruins in a Memorial Cup run in that 49 season. Back to the Fort William Rangers in 1950 of the TBJHL, 36 points in a regular season in 18 games, and 8 points in 5 playoff contests. Now, 51 with Oshawa, 121 points in 54 games, and 49 goals, 14 points in the playoffs. Now, he got called up to the big team that year for 1 game. And 51-52, his rookie season, he had 37 points in 65 games, including 8 playoff games with 3 assists. Now, 52, he played his only minor league games with the Indianapolis Capitals, but in 53, he made it finally to the NHL full time. And again, put up some very consistent numbers. A consistent 20 to 30 goal scorer every year. 14, I think it was 13 or 14 seasons, he had at least 20 goals. A lot of campaigns, he averaged between 6 and 19 contests. Always a good playmaker. Best career season actually came in 1969. That 3 years when Detroit did make the playoffs, he was the best player. 83 points in 72 games in 69. Now, a broken ankle also almost hurt his career. It kept him out for 22 games in 57. Now, his first, get this is significant. He played his first NHL game against Montreal in the Red Wings' final game of that season. Now, when he joined full-time to Detroit in 52, he helped the team to win that Stanley Cup as part of that early 1950s dynasty for the Red Wings before Montreal took over. Now, he played both center and left wing for, again, 24 seasons, but he was also on that production line with Gordie Howe and Teddy Lindsay. Now, a lot of people wonder why it's called a production line. It was very simple. They would produce, no matter the situation, 5-on-5, power play, playoffs, key situations. Gordie would score, Teddy would score, or Alex would score or pass it around. Now, he only missed 14 games over the final 16 seasons of his career. So he was kind of the Cal Ripken of the NHL, and he would rarely miss a game. There was an occasion where allegedly the media said, "Where's Delvecchio?" But he was still in the dressing room, I guess, doing a new pair of skates. He said, "Oh, he might be done," and he's coming out for a second shift, and he scored a goal. So, the media sometimes were strange in Detroit because every year you had to talk to Delvecchio, and Delvecchio, he's a gentleman through and through, and you ask him about a bad game. Oh, if you played it, take it one game at a time. He was the master of the positive cliches. Now, no player except Nicholas Lindstrom in NHL history played more contests in a career spent with only one team. Now, despite his impressive career, he was never the Red Wings' leading point scorer in any season, primarily due to Howe's presence, because sometimes Gordy would get more ice time. The closest he ever came was 1970, where he was just 3 points behind Howe for the squad lead. Now, following his retirement as a player, he served 2 stints as head coach and 1 as GM until leaving hockey in 1977 to go into private business. Delvecchio was also an honored member of the Detroit Red Wings Alumni Association, and also is very active in his efforts to raise money for children's charities in Metro Detroit. Now, when he retired, he ranked second in nearly every significant offensive category in Red Wings history, behind only Howe, which of course was passed by Yzerman and Lindstrom. Now, the big question is, why didn't Delvecchio jump to the WHA to play with Gordy? Well, there was a story about that which I don't want to repeat, but Delvecchio basically said, I'm a Red Wing through and through for the rest of my life. I think one member of the Detroit media, and it might have been the Detroit Free Press, asked him, "You ever thought about playing with Gordy again?" And he said, "Well, I wish him luck." But Delvecchio was a dedicated Detroit Red Wing through and through, and continues to be so. Because when you say Detroit Red Wings in the eastern part of Canada, you think of Gordie Howe and Alex Delvecchio and Ted Lindsay, and never the twain shall meet. It would have been nice for him to play, one season in the WHA, but you got to remember there was no Detroit team in the WHA. That hurt too. Anyway, now again, just go over the achievements. Third all time in games played in a Red Wings uniform. Again, retired as the overall leader for Detroit for points in games in every significant. Second all-star team in 53 at center and 50-9 in the left wing. Played in the all-star game 13 times from 1953 to 59, 61 to 65 and 67, a total surpassed by only 6 players. Served as team captain for 12 years, a mark only surpassed by CVY. Remains 11 all-time in NHL history in games played and 27 in points. Again, third in points and goals and fourth assists, Red Wings history. 98, ranked number 82 on the Hockey News list of the 100 greatest NHL players. He's number 10, was retired on November 10th, 1991. And October 16, 2008, Red Wings unveiled a commemorative statue commissioned by artist Amrani. In January 2017, he was also part of the first group of players to be named one of the 100 greatest NHL players of all time. Now, Detroit Red Wings records didn't make the playoffs 74, 75, and 76. And again, after the 77 season, decided to resign from his post with the Norris squad. The full season record, 1975, 23, 45, and 12. And this is before the Red Wings resurgence, where they made the playoffs in the late 70s against Montreal. So, again, which is kind of very interesting, ladies and gentlemen. Red Wings captain, when he was made, when he left as a GM post, Teddy Lindsay took over for him. So it kept the tradition going. And Teddy Lindsay, unfortunately, had passed away in the last number of months. But Lindsay would always say, Alex was a gentleman, and it was rough for me to take over from him. But but the way that Detroit treated Ted, there was some question if Delvecchio would have stood up more for player rights. Maybe they would have got the money they deserved. But it's not for me to say. I can probably say, why didn't George Brett leave Kansas City for another team? Well, some teams love what they're playing. If they get the right amount of money and the right amount of support, they're not going to, leave town, as we say. And you don't make them like Alex Delvecchio. Even back then, there was few and far between. The only comparison I can give is like a combination of Jean Beliveau and Brad Park, because I met Brad Park, and a little bit of Daryl Sittler, because Daryl Sittler was pushed out of town, but the dedication to his team. Daryl Sittler would want to be a Maple Leaf for life. It wouldn't be for Harold Ballard. And Delvecchio played from awful strange management. That should be a podcast in itself. The machinations of the original 6 owners before expansion. Collusion up to yin-yang, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, thanks for listening. That's the legend of Alex Delvecchio. If you like what we're doing here with our Detroit and Vintage podcast, please give us a like, comment, or subscribe. We appreciate you dropping in, and pass it on. If you like what we're doing here, tell your friends. It's free, don't cost nothing, as the old saying goes. John Belushi, that's a good plug there. Have a good day. Bye.